I'm going to show you my pre-flight checklist that I do with all my horses every single time before I take them out on trail rides. You can also do this if you're going to be using your performance horse, but it's excellent for getting the horse using the thinking side of their brain, getting their mind thinking about us and engaged before you take them outside to ride. So it's my pre-flight checklist. I start at the tip of the horse's nose and we work simultaneously all the way back to the horse's tail. So we work on the head and the neck, then the shoulders, then the rib cage, and then the hip. And when you can have total control of the horse's body in those segments like that, you know you're going to have the thinking side of the brain and you're going to be much safer when you go out for your trail ride, guaranteed. So if we're going to start with the head and the neck, for this I use what I call the one rein stop. And this is just softening and bending the horse back and forth. Your horse may or may not at the beginning wiggle and move a circle. If they are wiggling and move a circle, you just keep your hand steady until the horse quits moving and softens and gives to the bit. So right here you see my horse is standing still, and as I draw the rein, she just softens and gives, and you can see slack in my rein now. That's the point when I know I can loosen up and give that back to her. That's the first thing, is the one rein stop, making sure that the horse is just soft, which my horse passes. You notice what it did right there? When you soften the horse left and right, they automatically want to drop their head lower. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Next, we need to see if her shoulder is responding. And the exercise I use for that is what I call a counterbend circle. And I'll show you what that looks like. Typically, you walk about a 10-foot circle. And at the beginning, this is a direct rein circle. So there's not much crossing, but you'll notice in just a moment, I'm going to get my horse's left front leg to cross over the other leg. Now I've got my horse in a counterbend circle. And you'll notice the left front leg is crossing over laterally, over the right front. And I start to just make little figure eights and change the direction. Then I'll go this way and ask my horse to change, but still stay soft on my right leg. You'll be amazed when you start getting your horse's shoulders to move across and you have really good shoulder control, how many other maneuvers become so much easier. Because now you have the horse soft to your feet and your legs before you go and do anything else. So this is my go-to shoulder control exercise on our pre-flight checklist, the counterbend circle. Good girl. Good girl. And on that, I never try to get into an argument with my hands. If the horse gets stiff in the bridle at all, I usually start bumping with my feet or try to move the horse's ribs with my legs, and then that will encourage her to be softer in the bridle. After we've gone through the horse's head and neck, we just check the shoulders with our counterbend circle. The next thing we want to check on our pre-flight checklist is the rib cage. And that is a standard two exercises I use of that. One is the side pass, which is great. That'll be your leg in about button 2 as you're asking the horse to move over. And the other one is a mixture of disengaging the hind end and the rib cage at the same time. So we can actually get the rib cage and the hindquarters to move at the same time here, and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to pick up the inside rein, basically straight up in the air, and get this horse to bend. Now my left leg drops to button 3, and I disengage the hindquarters. And then she's going to stop, and after she stops, she's going to give to the bridle, and I'm going to give it back to her. So we're looking for the hind end to cross, and if you watch the left hind leg, it will cross over laterally over the right hind leg. See it here. Draw the rein, straight up, left leg. There's the crossing. Should they get stuck like that, just bump your feet, there. And the timing on the release is when the horse is easily moving around off of your leg, they're not pushing against my foot, and they're being really soft to the bridle. If they're tugging on the rein at all, you might need to use more leg. And then as soon as you feel that horse soften and give, and they're really yielding to the pressure, that's when you can take it all and let go of it. Remember, horses learn from the release of pressure at the proper time, and then consistency after that. So that was off my left leg. Now I'm just going to see if the horse will side pass. Remember, I said that was another way that you can check to see if your horse's rib cage is working. Good girl. Whoa. Now with your side pass, this horse just did a common thing there, which is trying to walk forward a little bit too much. And on that, you just need to make sure you have a light contact on the bridle if the horse is trying to walk forward too much. So this time I'm going to try the side pass again with a little bit of contact on the rein. Oh yeah, she stayed way straighter that time. Good girl. Whoa. Good. So you want to check that. Now I'm going to disengage right rein. And this is our final step, the hindquarters, in our pre-flight checklist. We start from the tip of the nose all the way back to the end of the tail, trying to soften this horse up and get them in thinking mode, using the thinking side of their brain. Right leg, button 3, get the hind end to disengage, quit kicking with the foot, wait for the horse to soften in the bridle, and then give it back to her. That's basically the one rein stop right there at the end, just like we began with. We're just taking the leg away and rewarding after the horse is given. One more time, draw the one rein stop, disengage the hindquarters. Whoa, good girl. She's giving off that really nicely. Check my side pass. She wants to walk forward a little bit, so I have to catch her. There we go, that's better. And whoa, good girl. Good girl. You're gonna be able to see a lot in your horses, and we talk about green lights all the time. So watch for the green lights in your horse, licking of the lips, blinking of the eyes, moving their ears back and forth, a soft eye, lowering of the head. All of these are green lights. You really want to look for those green lights before you head out on your trail ride, and just keep practicing these maneuvers in our pre-flight checklist over and over again in a really soft, calm, and smooth manner. Just doing those, bending the horse until you get them thinking about you, thinking about your cues, and using the thinking side of their brain. Always make sure that your horse is calm, using the thinking side of their brain before you head out on the trail ride, and that will always keep you safe. Thank you very much. This is Corey Odle coming to you live from the Pacific Northwest. Enjoy the weather and ride safe.